This is the Clark Connection Podcast, your weekly dose of inspiration and power. We'll dive deep into the stories and strategies that ignite personal growth and entrepreneurial fire. Join us as we empower you to take control, level up your leadership, and build the life you deserve. Get ready to rise, to thrive, and to finally become the leader of your own destiny. Let's go. Welcome to the Clark Connection Podcast, where we dive deep into leadership, personal growth, and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Aaron Clark, aka The Coach. So great to have you on here with us. Because today I'm sitting down with Shane Robertson, who made the leap from a 25-year career in corporate America to building a thriving career in real estate. In this episode, Shane shares lessons he's learned about time management, client relationships, leadership, and the importance of staying consistent in the face of a changing market and trends. Now, before we jump into that, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for supporting our show. And today's show of the Clark Connection Podcast is brought to you by our premium sponsor, Vicki, with Hubbard Flooring Studios. Leadership always starts with a strong foundation, and so does your home or office. Vicki and her team don't just cover floors. They help you step into excellence, one plank, one tile, or one carpet at a time. And now, Hubbard Flooring Studios offers Hunter Douglas blinds, giving you the ability to set the tone, control the light, and create the perfect environment to lead from. Visit them at Boylan Avenue in Baton Rouge, or give them a call at 225-924-1582, or you can simply browse their work at hubbardflooringstudio.com. Hubbard Flooring Studio, where strong foundations and bright visions begin. Make sure you tell them that the coach sent you their way. Also, got to thank our other great sponsors, Wayne with 7K Metals, for all your silver and gold needs. Just like strong leadership, building wealth takes strategy and vision. Wayne helps you craft a foundation that shines. Bobby with the Comfy Quest LLC. She helps you realign, recharge, and create the mental and physical space to lead your life with balance and clarity. Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, making your business run smarter, smoother, and more efficiently. They're giving you the freedom to focus on what matters the most. Joseph with Landscape Kings, transforming yards into beautiful, inspiring spaces that set the stage for creativity, growth, and leadership in every season. Also, C&J Embroidery. Special shout out and thanks to these guys, bringing your brand to life with custom designs that leave a lasting impression from wherever you lead. And guys, if you or your business would like to join in and be a future sponsor, get in on the ground level, would love to connect with you. A sponsorship is a great way to get your name in front of other leaders, entrepreneurs, and growth-minded listeners just like you. And look, you can always connect with me directly via my website, coachaclark.com, or you can connect with me via email, aaron@coachaclark.com. I'd love to hear from you. And look, I know you guys have questions on leadership, personal growth, and or entrepreneurship. They fill out that form below. It's the best way to get in touch with us. And it may be answered on our next episode of Ask the Coach. Now, want to quickly introduce you to Shane. And so, Shane started off, they spent over 25 years as the general sales manager for Crescent Crown Distributing. He's been a licensed realtor now for 9 years. And within the past 5 years, that he's become the sales manager and a partner of Century 21, Bassett and Flavin. That phenomenal man, a great leader, and most importantly, I'm proud to be able to call him a friend. And so, whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or simply just somebody pursuing growth, Shane's story is packed with lessons on resilience, inspiration, and continuous learning. So grab something to write on and with, and let's get into my conversation with Shane. All right. And welcome to the show, Shane.
Hey, thank you very much, Aaron. Glad to be here, mate.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine. I know we kind of go back a little bit. Great to rediscover that friendship. It's one of the things I love about going on and doing this podcast, but kind of want to where I want to go. I thought it was really cool. You were you were managing in the beverage distribution industry.
That's correct.
25 years. And then all of a sudden made this shift to real estate. What was the shift? Like, what was it that really got you to say, I'm going to do that? Because that's a huge, huge difference right there.
It is. It really is a huge difference. So 25 years in the beverage, distributing, and went from managing and just corporate USA. Always had a passion for real estate. And, just after about 25 years of corporate USA, I decided I wanted to make a shift and have some flexibility. Again, had passion for real estate, had a few rental properties, and it's like, okay, well, what can I do? What else can I do with have some flexibility and just kind of be my own boss? I was always answering to someone, and I was like, okay, I wanted to kind of just be my own boss. And real estate happened to be kind of booming at the time, and decided to go and take the tests, and decided to give it a shot. So kind of did both for a little while, in the Crescent Crown and real estate for about a year and a half, 2 years. And then back in 2016, just made this shift and went all real estate.
And I think that's an important thing that you mentioned too, was you didn't just like wake up and go, you know what? I'm out of here, guys. And exit stage right. No, you took your time, you learned the industry, you got it going. You worked 2 years in it.
Yes.
So how difficult was that working those 2 years, two different things?
Well, and again, real estate kind of gave me that flexibility to kind of work it as I needed to. I wasn't required to do it every day if I didn't want to. Kind of pick and chose who I want to, clients, or if I had a client, and I really just took the opportunity to kind of secure my relationships with clients and customers that I had built over the 25 years at Crescent Crown. So just kind of started building my database and preparing for when and if I had made that decision to make the switch. And again, with corporate USA, we had a reorganization come through, and just the cars just wasn't in my favor as far as the direction they wanted to go, and decided to make the switch.
Yeah, and so one you'd say, I know that's one that a lot of people are used to whenever you get in business for yourself, is you get a lot of repeat customers. This is just me thinking out loud. Like, I've only purchased one house. I've been here for over 10 years now. That's what I was trying to remember. How long have I been where I'm at? So how often do you get...
Time for you to buy another house.
Don't tell my wife that, man. No. So we're a motocross broke right now. So but how often do you get like repeat customers?
It just all depends. The average, they said, an average homeowner stays in a home from used to be about 5 years. Now it's about 7 years. So between 7 and 10 years, typically a homeowner is looking to either upsize, need more space, or sometimes downsize. But so typically, from a good 7 to 10 years. But repeat customers could be from the client that is bought a house and then they need to sell due to relocating or job, or it just all depends on the why. Then you have investors that that we work with. I work with a lot of investors, and they are typically repeat customers because they're always looking for that investment property. So
Okay. And so that's like people looking for rental properties when you say
rental,
investors.
yes, investors, rental properties, yes, properties for some income, yeah, income producing properties.
Now, let me ask this. So, like one of the other guests I had, one of my friend, Morgan Allison, he's in commercial real estate. Like, is that the same thing like what you're doing, or are you
It
more on
is. It's
residential?
just, yeah. That's it's kind of same. It's a little bit of so we do some commercial real estate as well. So, typically commercial could be multifamily properties or business. Different business type properties that people need those properties to run a business out of.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. But probably 95% of my business is residential.
All right. And that's kind of what I was like, ooh, so he's got a bunch of different things. I wonder how much of that is similar to like what Morgan was doing or is doing. Well, it is. But I mean, both are very vital to the
Absolutely.
economy.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do property management as well. So, we manage properties which typically are investors that own multiple properties or even a single, property that they own, and they don't want to have to deal with the day-to-day operation or day-to-day handling it. So we offer that service as well.
Yeah. Or just dealing with people like myself. They're like, hey, we know how to deal with him.
That's it.
Send him to shame.
Present us. Yeah. So yeah. So we do property management. That's correct.
Awesome. And so one question that I did have as we were going, making the switch, corporate America, you got a boss, and now your boss is Shane. What would you say was your biggest struggle getting started?
I said the biggest struggle with getting started was just staying consistent. Um, Never really had a problem with the whole drive or anything. It's just being consistent and kind of thinking outside the box sometimes, because we get complacent of just doing, especially coming from 25 years of corporate USA. I got up, went to work, and knew what I had to do every day. Well, when you become your own boss, and it's okay. Well, what can I do to set myself apart and to be different? Kind of always thinking and being creative.
Okay. And that's what I was going to ask. So what do you mean by being consistent and then thinking outside of the box?
And again, it's okay. Well, it might be marketing. Okay, what's some different marketing that in real estate, marketing is important to get yourself out there, and so what's marketing, um and then again, in real estate, there's 4,000 real estate agents in the greater Baton Rouge area. So what can we do to set ourselves apart from the others?
Yeah. That's like with you thinking outside the box. That's what you were talking about, right?
Yes,
Okay. Now,
absolutely.
what was it like, the consistency? How, when you were saying be consistent, what did you mean? Like, what was your struggle with being consistent?
As far as just in real estate, it takes you can get up and do things that are not always productive in this industry. So consistent as far as, the things that's not always glorious, as it's making phone calls, prospecting, recruiting, calling to, those things. If you talk to anybody in real estate, those are the things that no one likes to do. It's always we want to stay busy, but sometimes it takes to do these things in order to stay busy. Um, so those are not always the glamorous parts of real estate. So when I say stay consistent, those are required. We have to do those in order to continue growing our business.
That makes sense. Non-money producing activities.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Aaron, you hit the nail on the head. And and a lot of times we get in it and we find ourselves because it makes us feel like we're busy, like we're really got a lot going on, but it's non-money making activities. Okay. And, and it's okay. Well, at the end of the day, it's like we look back and it's like, okay, what did I accomplish today? And what did I do that's going to help move my business forward?
Yeah, and I think that's one we struggle with, even outside of the corporate world. But it's a lot different when you've got somebody looking over your shoulder going, "Hey, Shane, did you get that TPS report done? Did you get this done yet? Did you call that person yet? Did you?" When you got that,
yeah. And you're right. In corporate, we always had numbers. We were always chasing numbers, and we always had, it was okay. We got to do this, this, and this, and this is what the growth we're looking for this quarter. This is the growth for this month. So you always had, and being in a leadership and in a managing role, I was part of building those goals, and then having a sales team that was helping to achieve, and then becoming your own boss. It's okay. Well, now when I build a goal, it's okay. I'm building that goal for myself and then my current team. And it's okay. Well, if I don't achieve these goals or achieve, then I only have myself to look at in the mirror and say, okay, well, what happened? You know, so it's just it's a big difference. Um, a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences at the same time.
right? So, why do you think people tend to shy away from those money producing activities?
Um, because it's not this it gets bored. It's just because you don't see the results quick fast enough. I was asked one time, it's like I said, it's making the phone calls. Someone my coaches asked me a long time ago, he said, hey, if I told you I'll give you $20 to make X number of phone calls, would you accept that job? And I said, absolutely. Because all I hear is $20 for every phone call I make. And well, I'll make 100 phone calls for you if you give me $20 per phone call. But when I have to ask myself, okay, well, why am I not calling 100 phone calls? Because guess what? Each one of those phone calls at the end of the day could be a total of more than $20. But we don't see the results fast enough. So that's why we tend to shy away from doing those non-money making activities.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, making the phone calls, like you said, if you got to make 100 calls just to get somebody on the phone, that's kind of, I hate to say defeating, but it's kind of defeating. That whenever you're there and you're just like, boom, oh, okay,
Yeah.
next.
Well, and we don't like rejection either. So, a lot of times, just starting out, a lot of real estate agents, you're contacting people and you're hoping to get that conversation or whatever that's going to lead into, a potential sale. And we don't like rejection. So that's another one of the reasons that we tend to shy away from those. But after you get your feet kind of planted and you really start to understand, 85% of my business is past clients and referrals from past clients. So the business it shifts after. When you first start out, no one likes rejection, and I think that's why we find a lot of people just shy away from making those calls.
And so how do you go about then helping somebody to get over that rejection? Because
It's coaching and role playing with the agents from so a lot of coaching, a lot of training, a lot of and just got to make it fun. um and as we say, and just make it fun. You never know what that next conversation over the phone will lead to. And you gotta kind of just make it fun, just change it up.
yeah. And I think that's one I love that you said. I'm a huge fan of role play, recovering football coach. So to me, that's just practice, and we practice 5 days a week. Whenever I was coaching, I mean, if you ask somebody like a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, they were 7 days a week.
7 days a week, yeah, that's right. Practice makes perfect, man. That's absolutely. So more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more you start to enjoy it. But and then when you see when you start seeing the success from it, I'm sure, just like we just talked about, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants and stuff, if they wasn't seeing any results from the 7 days a week, then I'm sure it wouldn't have been fun anymore. But they're the greatest there is because they put in the work. They put in the work.
Michael would have found a way to get 8 days a week.
That's right. You are absolutely right. Yep. So
if 7 wasn't working, he'd have done 8.
Yeah. Perfect comparison. Perfect comparison is so practice makes perfect, man. Yep.
Well, I like to say this: practice makes permanent.
That's right.
Perfect practice makes perfect.
You're right. Yeah. I agree. But
yeah, no, I love those guys. And listen, guys, if you've enjoyed what you've heard so far, make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe button so we can continue to bring on great content, great guests like Shane, and get you a whole lot more bang for your buck with the Clark Connection podcast. And so, sticking on that thought of the coaching and training and role play, you said finding a way to make it fun. Like, what are things that you do to make the training fun? Or even going through making the phone calls, like how do you make being a real estate agent fun?
It's as easy sometimes of just changing the name of it. We call it prospecting. Well, change it up sometimes, and one, put it on your calendar and stick to a daily schedule of do it at different times of the day. And instead of calling it prospecting, call it your hour of power or power hour. And sometimes even doing it with with a teammate, doing it not always alone, get another teammate, get another agent or somebody in the office. And again, it's all about, I'm a firm believer in getting the things you don't like to do done first. So instead of waiting till the end of the day to do it in the morning, and that way it's done. So so just a few different ways to kind of change it up.
Right. And that's a good one too. Like you mentioned, getting another agent. So like if I were to get with together with you, for instance, and say, all right, Shane, I'm gonna make 200 calls today. How many you gonna make? All
That's
right,
right.
you gonna make
Make a real challenge.
we're gonna see who's gonna get it done. I'm gonna actually show 4 houses today.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. And track your success with it. Track your success, because if you're just doing it and you're not tracking anything, you have nothing to compare. So tracking success, and and always try to be better.
Oh yeah, because what you track gets fixed and gets improved.
That's correct. That's correct. And and again, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist.
I'll say one more time for the people in the back.
If it's not on the calendar, or if it's not planned, it does not exist. So, don't, just have it be a part of your day.
Right. Now, I guess this kind of goes back to like you were mentioning, because I was about to say, so I mean, just pack my calendar full of everything. But I guess with what you were saying, if I do the power hour, or I have all right, this one's going to be my contest with Shane, or something along those lines, well, then that makes it a little bit more organized. That one I was working with, and one of my clients was, I was talking with them about keeping margin in your calendar. Now, how often do you do something like that, where you say, all right, I'm going to put this 45 minutes in here to go back and look and see and reflect on what's happened today, what happened yesterday, so on and so forth?
Oh, I think it's important to do that every day, or if not every day, every other day, is to go back, and at the end of the day, and look and see what could you do better, or plan in the next day. Or if you don't, and again, if you don't do it on a daily, at least do it at the end of the week. Go back and say, okay, well, what did I accomplish this week? And by having those goals, and you tracking what your progress is, it gives you something to look to look forward to the next week or the next day. We have a it's if you have a meeting and it's the same time every week at the same and the same day every time every day, that should be on your calendar, and there should be, nothing that's going to interrupt that time frame. I think it's important to understand and work your schedule, and time management is important, especially when you're in your own, running your own business.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I mean, so like, I know that for me, some of my non-negotiable time is in the morning.
That's right. That's right.
5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is like golden time for me, because for me, and I'll tell anybody else, that you got to pick the time that you're at your peak. So if you're a night owl, obviously 5 a.m. is not gonna work for you.
Not going to work for you. That's correct.
But I mean, somebody like me, I'm trying to go to bed at like 9 p.m. So it just depends on you, but you got to have take your peak hours and take that to devote to yourself. Make yourself the best you can be during those peak hours.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there has to be stuff that's non-negotiable on your calendar.
Has to be, whether it's again, the prospecting, or your meetings, or you're just goal setting. Just it's the non-negotiables you have to have. You have to control your calendar. Don't let your calendar control you.
Yeah. Oh, because if you do, it'll definitely control you if you let it.
That's correct. Yep. So
And now, so I know that you've got a pretty big team now. From I don't remember how many you told me, but you said you had quite a few.
20, we've got 28 agents in my office in Baton Rouge. So 28 agents. I've got 2 assistants, and we're looking to always continue to grow. So we're always looking for good agents that looking to join a team or make a change. So yeah,
Right. But it didn't start like that. I mean, you started out. It was the Shane Robertson team.
it was the Shane Robertson team. That's correct. And then I got to a point where it was beneficial for me to start adding some support and growing a team to continue to better serve my clients, um, and to be in a position to kind of start delegating and um, just continue to grow. So.
Mhm. And so how long? So what was that? So at what point did you start adding to the team? And then what was that first position that you added?
So honestly, when I was a solo agent and decided I was going to start building my team. First thing I did was added a couple buyers agents because I had enough business that I was okay. I needed to have some help. But
Now,
I'll
what do
tell
you
you,
mean buyer's agent?
just agents that could assist and go show homes, work with buyers. Work with buyers, so buyers agents. And if I was to change something today, I would probably have added an administrative assistant before I would have added buyers agents.
And so why do you say that?
Because buyers agents, yes, they're helping, but um, in this business, and we talked about it earlier, there's a lot of non money producing and paperwork and stuff like that. I found myself doing a lot more of that, where had I had hired an administrative or an assistant to handle that type things, would have freed my time up a lot more.
Yeah. And so that would have got you out of the business and working on the business instead of
Working on the business. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, yes, at some point I added a administrative assistant, and that just changed my life drastically. And then at that point, I was able to then start focusing more on the business and then focusing more on the recruiting and growing the team.
And so when did you first add? So how long were you a solo before you added a buyer's agent?
Probably about 3 years.
About 3 years. All right. So probably about 2020 was when you added your first agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, perfect time, right?
2019, 2020. Yeah. Yeah.
Just in time to shut everything down.
Just in time to hit the old 2020 COVID time. Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's a tough time to go through. I mean, especially relatively new to the industry. What did you do to keep the doors open during that time?
So you'd be surprised, during COVID and 2020, 2021, we sold more real estate at that time than we have in all of the years that I've been doing real estate. Um, obviously it took a pandemic and interest rates dropped and they were in the twos and the threes, and we literally didn't have enough inventory to we if you were interested in the house, you pretty much was writing an offer sight unseen, because that house would not be there if you waited to go and see it a day or 2 days later. So, interest rates just created just a crazy, ridiculous market, and
Yeah, I
on top of no
forgot about
inventory.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know, because when we had looked at refinancing our house during that time, and whatever it was, they ended up telling me if you can't go down, I think it was like a 0.5% or better, don't even look at it. And mine only went down like 2%. So
That's not bad. It's not bad.
I'm not going to refinance or 0.2%. Yeah. So it would only went down 0.2%. So I was like,
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say 0.2%. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I didn't
If
touch
you
it.
went down 2%, I would. Yeah,
Oh, I'd have dropped it.
You should have been
We'd have been
all over
refinancing
me.
a heartbeat. Yeah, it didn't drop that low. I was
Yeah,
kind of pumped.
0.2%. Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, that was a busy time. Very busy times.
Yeah, I could see that now that you say it. And so now, was that when you started to experience really the growth of like the teams where you like started adding
Okay.
the agents and the
Oh,
administrative
yeah.
assistant?
Well, so September 2020 was the month where I actually had the opportunity to take my team and then open the office here in Baton Rouge. So then I made a transition in the midst of COVID,
Nice.
changing brokerages and becoming a sales manager and running an office.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, busy times.
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to prove that if you're looking for the opportunity, it's there. It doesn't matter what it is.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So had an opportunity, and it took a lot of sleepless nights to make the decision, and I trusted in God's direction, and it was just told to do to make it. I remember going to my my assistant at the time and telling her, say, hey, I have an opportunity, and want your opinion. And she said, you you'd be crazy not to take it. And then I went to every one of the agents that was actually on my direct team at the time, and they said, hey, wherever you go, we're going. And so just that support, it was without a doubt, I knew I was making the right decision.
Well, and that helps too. That speaks highly of you and what you did as far as creating that culture of leadership to get that team to say, look, no matter where you go, Shane, we there with you, bro.
We're there with me, and that's exactly, yeah. And you said a word right there, and that's years ago I learned that culture. If you get the right culture, and in an organization, man, that speaks volume.
Absolutely. And so, guys, that want to give a quick shout out to while we're here talking about building foundations. If you're looking for a great foundation, looking to get that going, make sure you hit up my girl Vicki Hubbard with Hubbard Flooring Studio. They right here in Baton Rouge. Look, all the contact information's down below. Tell them that Coach Clark sent you her way. And so, I want to kind of go back now to the beginning because I think it's easy, and I hate to say easy because I don't mean that it's easy anytime you make that transition, but it took 25 years for Shane to kind of become what Shane was. What was the biggest struggle starting out and then moving into that first leadership role and then, the second and the third? And what was that like?
The biggest challenge, I guess, moving into a leadership role was just really and truly just understanding what being a leader meant and what leadership is. A lot of people think, there's different styles of leaders out there, and a lot of people take that title as okay. Now I'm in a managing or I'm in some type of leadership role, and it's just a title to them. Leadership to me is about it's about sharing. It's about growing as a team, and it's about just trying to accomplish the same goal as a team, not just as an individual. Is what leadership means to me, and so as a young leader, just getting into a leader role, I think a lot of people let the title get in the way. It's like, you know, I'm the boss now. Okay, I'm the boss, and that's right. Yep, I'm the boss. Yeah, and yeah, it's just and if that's the mindset that you take, just as easy as or the work that you put in can be all be taken away. Because the last thing people want to do is work for someone that they don't respect. So it's about growing and being respected, and I believe that being a leader means doing every single thing, being willing to do whatever it takes, being willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, and then you said it that's I'll say this all the time. People don't leave organizations; they leave people, and more specifically, they leave bad leaders.
Yes, yes, yes. And I had the experience of working for I'll say a bad leader. No names called out, but and it quickly just reminded me that I didn't want to be that person, because I knew how I felt working for that person. It's like every day going home, like, oh my God, I hate what I do, hate my job. I hate, this is horrible. And I just, so immediately I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do, I'm going to lead differently. I'm going to lead differently.
And so, what was it that that person did that just made it to like,
Just just micromanaged, and just, I think he just led, he thought, I felt that he felt like in order to get you to do what he wanted you to do, it was leading through fear, like you fear for your job, and it's like, yeah, it was just terrible. Micromanaging, just, yeah, like, just always was threatening your job.
yeah. And so that because I mean that's now I'm making the assumption right here that that was like in your one of your first jobs.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This was, well, honestly, it was in, um, in my first years of the 25 years that I was at the, beverage, industry. I didn't come into the beverage industry in a leadership role. I worked my way up.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was that first boss there that you were just like, and so what did you do then to help? Because obviously ended up staying in that industry with the same
I
company for
did.
25 years. That's phenomenal, man.
I did. And honestly, um, that leader was eventually removed from the company just, for uh, reasons. Obviously, I can't exactly remember all the different reasons, but and then I just had the opportunity with restructuring to move into, be offered um, positions and just work by working hard. And I always had a hard work ethic, and just um, I was able to, get promoted and then move into different leadership roles until had the opportunity to be in a general sales manager's position.
And I'll tell people that too. Like that's what I want for my kids. I want them to go work somewhere. I want them to have the horrible boss, and I want them to have a really good boss too. Like I don't want
Yes.
them to come work for me or at any of our businesses first.
Right. Right.
Um, it was one, although my very first job was working for my dad, but he wasn't my first supervisor. And so that
Gotcha.
first supervisor, Nate, who I have a huge amount of respect for, that was just, oh, like, and I don't want to say he was a tyrant, but I mean, it was that he was a Marine, that because as you know, you're never not a Marine.
Right. Right.
Um, and he had such a way that he expected things to be done. And it was so good for me as a young person, as a young man trying to find their way in the world, to have that person, that strong hand. But I mean, he was also a very caring person too.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't see that side of him until he had put me in charge of the warehouse. And I was like, dude, I'm 17 years old and you got me in charge. Like, that one's 25, that one's 35, that one's like, why am I in charge of this? Like, and so, I mean, things weren't going well. And it was, it was that first, I'm like, dude, you got to remove me out of this position. I'm not here. I can't do this job. And it was that, let me put the arm around you. All right, bub. Let's talk these things.
Let's talk these things through.
And I was like, what?
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. I'll add to that is, I think what actually helped me become a better leader is, I had the opportunity to start off from the bottom. Okay, I did. Had no favors. I worked. I can literally say I worked my way up. So I started off here, like at the bottom, a driver, and then a merchandiser, and then to the warehouse. So I literally learned how to do it all. And I think that's one thing that if I was to tell someone, is be willing to do everything and learn every different aspect of your business. If you have that opportunity.
And it's such a huge blessing too. Whenever you think about it, knowing, all right, so I started off, I was here, I was cleaning toilets, I was sweeping floors.
That's right.
It makes you have that so much more appreciation that I still even carry that through today. That, if I'm walking through one of the parking lots or something, even if it's not my place, like if I see trash on the ground at Walmart, I'm like, seriously, somebody just tossed this right here. Look, here's a trash can.
Correct. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Such a huge blessing to start out at the bottom. I feel sorry for the people who start out at the top.
No, no regrets as far as, starting off from the bottom and just working hard, believing in working hard and had the opportunity to learn a lot by starting off at the bottom. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and then you had, and I hate to keep going back to the bad boss, but you had the bad boss and you
had the bad boss.
So
right.
Good night.
Yeah.
So much good stuff to learn from all that.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as we're kind of starting to wind down, I mean, we've covered a whole bunch of stuff, Shane. I've really enjoyed this.
Same here. Aaron, I really enjoyed, sharing a little bit about myself and my company and, with you guys. So,
yeah. Oh, and so got a few questions left for you though.
Okay.
One thing that I believe in, I believe that all leaders are readers. Not all readers are leaders, but if you're a leader, you're a learner. You're constantly learning, constantly growing. And so, what would you say that is one book or books that you think all leaders or entrepreneurs starting out that should read?
I would say the 7 Rules of Execution.
All right, 7 Rules of Execution.
Yeah. I think that has helped me stay productive, stay on track, and again, just really and truly, just always trying to execute versus procrastinate.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what about like something that you might be currently reading or just finished reading that you would recommend?
Atomic Habits, just habits and great book, great book. As far as just um, not letting excuses control and rule today. So just, what you practice becomes habits. And so I would say if you had an opportunity, definitely try to, read that one there.
Yeah. And I was about to say, and if you don't want to read it, guys, I did do a review on it. I don't remember which episode it was. It's like 45 to 50-ish. A phenomenal book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I definitely recommend that. And kind of my last question for you, and I ask this to everybody, is what's one thing that I should have asked you that maybe I didn't ask you?
If I was, yes, what's one, I guess, the question that I think we tend to ask a lot of our agents is what's your why? Um, and if you know what your why is, then it kind of changes the way your mindset works. So my why is to be able to help as many families buy and sell real estate, and not always for the financial aspect of it. It's just for the enjoyment of helping friends, family, and building relationships. It's and at the end of the day, it's I prioritize my priorities to faith, family, and then and then work, and so my why is maybe is different than somebody else's why, but that's so when I think when you ask that question, what's your why? Kind of can always be, a definition of what why do we do what we do every single day?
Yeah, that's a good one. Your why is so important because, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing it for, why are you here?
Why are you here? That's
What are you
right.
doing?
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Now that's one for the Coach A. Clark company. So my company is I want to add value to everybody I come across. So I mean, whether it's
I love that.
just making you smile because I was smiling, or because I held the door open. It doesn't have to, like you said. I just like to help people. I want to see people be better. Because we have much better to offer. We have this. I think that, and that was one of the things that got me started with this podcast. Was I wanted to be able to share that with people. I want people to have. There's so many like things out there, but I want to be able to help get that out there to other people and let them know that you can do better. You can be better, and
Can be better. Yeah.
you're not alone. I mean, I think that's one that entrepreneurs struggle with is the feeling of aloneness.
It as you're right. That's a little phrase we say. You're on that island by yourself, and you're gonna have that day that you're gonna feel like you're on that island, but you're not alone. You're not alone. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think and that's why. I mean, that's why I thought it was cool that we reconnected through the Christian business of Baton Rouge, and seeing that and knowing that there are other people out there that are going through exactly what I'm going through.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I'm nobody special.
Nope. Nope. No, we're all in this together. And if I can help you, just tell me how and what I need to do. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, Shane, I appreciate you getting on, sharing a little bit about your story. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. I'm thank you for the opportunity. This has been great, and I'm so glad we got to reconnect and spend some time together, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Hey, appreciate it.
And that wraps up an incredible conversation with Shane Robertson. We covered so much today, From the challenges of transitioning from corporate life to real estate, to the importance of building a strong client base, staying consistent, and leading your team with purpose. Shane's insight on coaching, priority management, and understanding your why are lessons any entrepreneur or leader can apply to grow their business and serve their clients better. Now, before we go, I want to give a special shout out to Vicki with Hubbard Flooring Studios. Just like strong foundation is key to great flooring, strong leadership is the foundation of any successful business. And Hubbard Flooring Studio helps you lay it right so your home or your team can stand the test of time. Give Vicki and her team a call at 225-924-1582 or visit them at hubbardflooringstudio.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to the Clark Connection podcast so you don't miss future conversations with leaders and entrepreneurs who are making an impact. And if you want to connect with me directly, visit coachaclark.com or shoot me an email at aaron@coachaclark.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your questions. And remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So keep leading, keep growing, and keep innovating. Until next time, stay inspired and connected, and I'll see you on the next episode of Clark Connection Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Clark Connection Podcast, where my goal is to add value to you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the show. You can also connect with me via my website, coachaclark.com, or on all socials at coach_a_Clark. The links are in the description. Huge thanks to my sponsors, Wayne with 7K Metals, Bobby with the Comfy Quest LLC, Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, Joseph with Landscape King, and Chris and Jess with C&J Embroidery. We look forward to bringing you more great content. See you next week.